So what an unbelievable, ridiculous weekend as ever. I feel like I start these streams half the time and it's just like, do you see what happened on the weekend? Another shenanigan of some sort. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. What's up? My name is The Shiller. Talking about NFTs and all that crazy stuff for quite some time, going over a ton of different things. But first of all, what do you do for breakfast? Saw this from Wall Street. People out there buying chocolate, McDonald's, buying NFTs. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what these people do. But people are addicted, and that was one of the reasons that I have the title of the stream that I did. Because once you get into the space, once you buy into what's going on here, it's pretty hard to find entertainment elsewhere. At least I think so. So Parallel. This is different. This is not the Parallel that you are familiar with. This is the Parallel network that is now called in themselves Parallel Fi. They've changed the CEO, they've changed the branding. Somehow they have 10,000 people that are tuning into one of their spaces. They've had so many crazy things that have not gone well, from exploits to trying to do way too much, that they've decided to kibosh half of the things that they're doing. But it's weird because the average person, when you jump into these things, probably doesn't realize the backstory here, right? And neither are a whole bunch of other applications within the space. And it's weird. We're going to have to go do a deep dive at some point through all the shenanigans, but just be aware that some things may look good that, might not have had a great past. Not that, you can't give people second chances and whatnot, but sometimes we have some questionable happenings. So, Lost Ratones. I'm a big League of Legends fan, and this is a team that got put together with a bunch of notable names from streamers, and this is the jersey they come up with. And I'm just like, this feels weak. This doesn't feel that entertaining. Okay, Lost Ratones is supposed to be like the rat, so the hat kind of works for the merchandise, but otherwise completely basic. Sure, the logo's fine, but my God, can we have people that actually design cool things for something that people would want? There's fans out there who would buy these things, and they keep missing the mark. This is crazy. I didn't actually think that I would see this on the timeline, but we have. Not so fast. Mad at you, Trezor. The hardware wallet, you might be familiar with Ledger. Trezor is another one. It is indescribably bad UX to open a cold wallet and find entire bags missing because you decided to no longer support them in the wallet or the UI. Unacceptable for cold storage intended for decades and legacy instructions. That's the kind of shit that's absolutely terrifying. Yes, of course, hacks, everything else, but my God, imagine the wallet that you have doesn't show the tokens, and they're just like, we're gonna remove it for whatever reason. Nah, that's indescriptibly bad. Indescribably, not descriptively. All right, so the other day, a whole bunch of CryptoPunks sold, and we have this conversation. Would you rather buy a house, or would you rather buy a hooded 3D glasses CryptoPunk? And this is a genuine question. And of course, when you look at the world, when you talk with different individuals, you'll have friends. Some of them, wildly successful in whatever they do. Other ones, wildly successful in their own right, but maybe not as much in terms of the financial, but they're happy, they're doing what they're doing. But you realize, all right, there's people out there that's got a lot of money, because, we're throwing $106,000 on some purple hair and glasses. We got a smoking redhead here for 177. I don't know if this is like Ron Weasley after the Harry Potters. You know what I mean? Who are these celebrities that are out there buying these things? Is it celebrities? Is it people that have done really well in crypto? What does it look like for the grand scheme of things when you're looking at a global stage? But either way, CryptoPunk sales have been happening. The 250,000 Parallel Champion Trophy took 2 months to make. This is a vinyl that actually plays the game's theme song. Kind of cool. If you haven't seen over the weekend, big esport tournament within Web3 for the Parallel League. We'll get more to that in just a second. Quit. Biggest takeaway from Denver. Again, ETH Denver happened. It felt like it was kind of a quiet event, to be honest. Sometimes we have a lot of videos, photos, excitement. I saw a bit around NFT Paris. I really didn't see a whole lot around ETH Denver, which is kind of surprising because I thought it was going to be a massive event. But apes, as in Bored Apes, still have the strongest community in Web3, and ApeChain has taken it to the next level. So if we look at this and we just say for a second, does that mean that a lot of people that were back in the 21 time actually stuck around? Because a lot of people did happen to get into Bored Apes. And again, it's funny that the narratives change a lot because a lot of people, which we have the stream, we minted the reveal, right? If you go on the YouTube page and you check out most popular videos from mine, one of the first ones you'll see them uses the Bored Ape Mint. And you can see all of us in chat, we're like, hey, this is new. Sure, let's buy into it. And a lot of people have stuck around because they learned, damn, like this space has some crazy opportunities. What a pleasure it was to meet so many interesting creatives and builders. Honored to be in the amazing community with you all. Awesome to see you from Quit. Okay, so Jake Lucky, who is like we'll call it like an esports or yeah, I guess esports or video game commentator, was out doing a talk with somebody from Parallel. And I've noticed that like throughout the entire weekend, Jake talked a ton about it. So let's see what they had to say on one of these.
And when you guys entered the TCG space, I'm sure this would have been the same for any genre out there. But there were some heavy hitters before you guys. You might be ruffling some feathers as you enter the space. Can you explain to people out there, is there a feud with the Hearthstone? I had to ask. Is there a feud between you guys and Hearthstone?
No. I mean, I think that there are some people in gaming in general who are very passionate about the games that they're passionate about, right? And I think that like we see it with any game, a lot of people's identities are tied to the things that they love, including the games. And so there are fans who are maybe a little bit upset that their favorite streamer isn't just playing the game that they want to see and are moving from Hearthstone to our game or what have you. But I don't really see it as a feud. Like I grew up playing not just Magic or Hearthstone or Runeterra, but like every card game I could get my hands on, And so I think it's like it's silly to think that like I want people to only play Parallel or some people should only play Hearthstone or whatever. It's like if you like card games, play all the card games, ourselves included. And without games like Magic and Hearthstone, I wouldn't have made this game. So I think that like yeah.
So this is kind of a funny conversation to have because Toasty, what's going on? This is the same argument that we have within like different blockchains, right? It's whatever you're into, you're into. If I say, oh yeah, Ape Chain's great, or oh yeah, Abstract is great, or oh yeah, Ethereum is great, or oh yeah, Blast is great, you're gonna think that I'm crazy and just be like, yo, what an absolute idiot. My favorite chain's Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Or like whatever it is. People are so biased in whatever they have, and then it goes to another level because there was also, I mean, I still think there is, but there's so much hate around NFTs and whatnot, and Parallel found a ton of success, and people were talking about how they were earning during this, and sure, we could throw in like jealousy, we could throw in, I mean, it was actually a really good point. If your like favorite streamer is suddenly not streaming a specific game that you're interested in, can totally see where that like goes out of line, but ultimately, it's just somewhere for people to complain about things. And you realize a lot of people just like complaining about things. We need to have like a circle of being able to complain about things because I think it would do absolutely phenomenal. But Parallel, they're also coming out with a shooter game? Okay, not to, be negative at all, but how does that give you the essence that this is an extraction shooter at all? That some guy grabs a scroll, looks up to the stars, and there's a ship. I'm all for cinematics. I really, really am, but I feel like that doesn't set up the story at all. But Parallel coming through with a shooter. And Toasty, I like Barrett Chain. What the F, bro? Why do you hate Abstract? True. It's funny how this all works. And Scruffy, what's going on? Schiller, do you only stream crypto or do you stream anything else? Yo, good to see you. Are you playing League later, by the way? Xander said that he's off for a little bit, so he's got hockey tonight. But if we're playing later, check the Discord. No, I don't really stream anything else. So I've done like League of Legends in the past. The first time that I ever streamed it was doing like RuneScape streams, and it's cool, like just chilling. There's not really like a game. I mean, I tried doing like the Third Kingdom, which is like a strategy simulation game, and I mean, when Open comes out, which is like a first-person shooter based off like Ready Player One, yeah, maybe do those. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel like I am that entertaining playing a game, but we'll see. Maybe one day. Okay, so speaking of Blur, which we didn't even mention earlier, I think we brought up Blast, but either way, CBB, again, who is a huge Blur farmer, and this is preface all of this with like, asterisk to asterisk, not sure if like 100% true, but rumors on the timeline, and I think this guy generally tells the truth, but not sure what's going on, but getting reports from the Blur seed investors that they didn't receive any tokens for February and didn't get any updates from Blur. So, I mean, this is something where, again, you come into the space, if you look at NFTs and you're like, okay, I want to get into something there, right? Like you look at the marketplace tokens and you have like X2, Y2, you have Blur token, and then you see like headlines like that and you're like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Back to the questions with Magic Eden too. And then we have like the market demand. I mean, I still check Blur probably more than the other ones, oddly enough. But just food for thought of, okay, what's going on? I wasn't sure because I didn't know if you wanted to stream our games. Well, you know what? We might, but me and Xander usually get pretty into it at each other. And listen, people would think differently. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, why didn't Trump add silo to the strategic reserve? Yo, we're fudding everything. Unbelievable. Trader Pops, good to see you. We got to talk about that reserve, though. We're going to go over that in a little bit, but we talk about branding. Look at this. This is, I think, in New York, the Louis Vuitton building. How do you move this on a truck? Like, are these all like separated and somehow they're glued together and showed off? Like, is this an AI image? This is crazy. Changing an entire building to a Louis Vuitton case. Which, guys, what happened to the Louis Vuitton cases that were sold as NFTs? What is going on? Oh my God, what is this? If you've forgotten, Azerbala, Metablocks is some kind of funny story. I follow Metablocks. Why does it say follow back? X is chalk. Blocks if you're watching this. Stuff. But he's making a joke here about a whole bunch of bids because we saw in CryptoPunks was a bunch of flash bids that were going on that weren't real. But when you look at this, you're probably like, okay, this is like a little strange. And yeah, so this was the NFT collection coming out from Azerbala, and I haven't seen anything for Azerbala in a while. This was from Tally Labs, Jenkins of LA. This was something that started with the Bored Ape IP, an expansive jungle punk franchise born from the internet that merges art, culture, and IP evolution. So why am I bringing this up? Because this is something that had a whole bunch of traction when it was based off of Bored Apes. And then they decided we are going to branch off and kind of cover our own thing, which is fine. But I think we have this problem of people go into something with the illusion of, whether it be it's going to be a game or this is supposed to be directed at this particular audience. And if there's a change at all throughout that, if it's not about the core reason that everybody got together in the first place, it doesn't feel that great. But everybody jumped into Artifact way back when because they were like, oh my God, this is cool. 3D avatars, we're here early. That Nike acquires them. This is the surefire best Web3 project that one can buy. And then Nike dropped it all. But crazy news, breaking news, if you will, from the other day. CEO of Improbable, Herman Narula, confirms that they have reached out to Nike to possibly pursue the acquisition of Artifact, because everybody's like, what's going on with Artifact? We haven't really heard anything. There is an IP there. There is the community. What's going on? No promises that the acquisition will occur, but this is a good step towards a bright new future for the Artifact community. Let's go. And that is one of the cool things with Web3 is it's some of these things are supposed to be community owned. If it gets to that point where like the head honchos can't do it anymore, but if the head honchos aren't giving it out, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, Trader Pops. If only we acted on the news, you know what I mean? We could have leveraged long. So the other day, you've probably seen this because this is all over the timeline. But someone is long 120 mil plus of ETH and 70 mil plus of Bitcoin with 50x leverage on Hyperliquid. Nobody makes that size of bet unless they know something, right? And then, of course, we have the announcement that the strategic reserve is going to incorporate a whole bunch of different tokens, and the market just goes flying. This was the announcement. A U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the presidential working group to move forward on crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Sol, and ADA or Cardano, if you don't know. I'll make sure the US is the crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. This immediately sparks a whole bunch of questions of why the hell is Bitcoin not on this? Why the hell is Ethereum not on this? But why the hell is Cardano on this? And we've played Charles Hoskinson on here before. His interviews, if you remember during the Libra situation with Malay from Argentina, right? When that was going down, he was like, yo, I'm here to help you guys. We're not taking bribes, but the Argentina government was like, yo, give us bribes. So, I mean, Hoskinson, he's getting out there. But this is interesting that this is a part of it. Now, of course, you'll know that there is a follow-up saying, and obviously Bitcoin and ETH as other valuable currencies will be the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. So then everybody's like, all right, so this is an after-the-fact mention, kind of strange, but that was done intentionally. And then Crypto Czar David Sachs says more to come at White House Crypto Summit regarding what's happening on Friday. So I'll see how the market reacts over that. So this is an interesting topic. So Luca Nets from Pudgy Penguin says, I want an agent to play a whole bunch of different games for me. Who's building this? In which somebody responds saying, games are designed to be played and not automated by AI to farm and passively extract. Any game ecosystem that's actually incentivizing this will not exist long. So I would ask you to have a perspective, if you will. Do you ever go out there and watch somebody that plays a game, whether it be Warzone, League of Legends, whatever the hell you're into, right? And it's somebody else playing the game. It's not for you, but it's to entertain you. And so is there a difference between having an AI agent farm a game for you versus watching a streamer play a game for you to enjoy? Do we ever have it where there's an agent that plays within a game and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool? Now, I have played the AI League. It's a game that you can download on your phone where you have like these agents. The awkward part with it is like it's pre-simulated, so then you're watching these soccer players kind of like kick the ball around, score, and you're like, okay, this is my team. These are the players. I've given them an outfit. I've given them, stats, whatever the hell that it is to train them. And it's not that bad, to be honest, but you have to be in like a very, very specific mindset, mood, or perspective on enjoying that. So this will be interesting when we see these ones that actually have some sort of, incentive for the AI gaming. Because, if you think it back for like RuneScape days, you used to get banned if you had any sort of automation. All right, so this is absolutely hilarious. Lionel Messi in the Major League Soccer. Anytime that he can't play, teams have to do like PR damage. So the Houston Dynamo are excited to host Inter Miami CF at Shell Energy Stadium on Sunday evening. The recently shared player status report for the match did not include forward Lionel Messi, but it has been reported he did not make the trip to Houston. Unfortunately, we have no control over who plays for our opponent. We look forward to hosting everyone tomorrow for what will be an incredible atmosphere and celebration of soccer for the city of Houston. To show our appreciation, fans who attend tomorrow night's match can claim a complimentary ticket to a future Dynamo match of the season. And so this is wild when you have somebody that just brings in like so much dollars, so much extra ticket sales, the demand for this. Listen, when people want something, we have to do PR damage. That's the goal, right? Create something people want that badly. So Peter Schiff, the guy who's like, I hate Bitcoin, is now liking Bitcoin, sort of. I get the rationale for a Bitcoin reserve. I don't agree with it, but I get it. We have a gold reserve. Bitcoin is digital gold, which is better than analog gold. So let's create a Bitcoin reserve too. But what's the rationale for an XRP reserve? Why the hell would we need that? I have been absolutely floored with how much hatred there has been on my timeline around XRP. Like, insane hate. And I feel like I didn't really appreciate how much people like truly hate that until seeing the negativity for what was going on. Okay, so I half read this and then, so this could be awful, but I'm pretty sure this is an interesting take. So thoughts on the strategic Bitcoin and crypto reserve. First, I believe banking and financial systems with no central control are just as important to our future as the internet itself. Don't disagree. The internet was designed to have no off switch and survive a nuclear blast. Our banking system should be the same. Second, if the US wants to hold Bitcoin to pay off its debt given the likely dollar devaluation that is to come, I can support that. Again, Bitcoin holders don't need this, but taxpayers who shoulder our debt burden do. That is not unfortunate, but that's where we are. Third, decentralization of the financial system doesn't require any one government to hold a stockpile of crypto. However, if the world's antiquated banking system is to be shuttered in favor of DeFi over the next 20 years, as it should be, then the US holding certain crypto assets would become equivalent in importance to holding strategic oil reserves, but that is highly premature. We don't know yet who the winners will be at that scale, and it will take years to play out. So this is a great take because it highlights the fact of like, all right, so if we can say in like 20 years, we have these AI agents, we're just changing the systems as overall. You talk to a lot of people, maybe this system's broken, that one doesn't matter the industry. We just say, hey, things need fixing, period, right? I mean, and this would be another thing. Let's take your local area as an example. You can go out, you can check on your local, we'll use Facebook groups as an example for your city. You'll see people bitching and moaning about roads not being done, complaining about the prices of this, that, or the other thing. But what happens if we have like an AI, consensus that gets thrown in, here's what the city should do with the budget, and it spits out what it is. It's not a person deciding this because we have the arguments, right, for political powers. Oh my goodness, this person is lining their pockets, they're trading this. The whole Nancy Pelosi thing is an example, right? But what if everything changes to that in the future? This is, holy smokes, this is crazy. But it does highlight too, as well, that like we don't know who the winners are. So you're like kind of picking and choosing right now, but you're just also kind of having to let things play out. And final thing from Luca Nets, I've been working on something for our JPEGs. And it's a quote tweet of somebody saying, when JPEG strategic reserve. So does that mean that Luca is working with like government officials, with the Pudgy team? Can you imagine if we have like a collective within the Web3 space that all these companies that have massive funding, whatever it is from Yuga, Igloo, whatever, and they're like, we're going to go around and we're going to buy 50 to 100 of these top different NFT collections, and that's going to be our strategic reserve. What do you think that does to people's confidence? Would that be insane? What would be the kind of insider trading that would happen leading up to that? That's a crazy thought. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Happy Monday. Hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Of course, if you do want to check out more content from myself, if you check the description down below on YouTube or in my bio on X, the RWA Segments podcast, we're doing a whole slew of different stuff around there. And I really, really hope that you guys enjoy all that insightful interviews with a bunch of notable players within the industry, while we, of course, do the daily stream of just yapping away here for the daily news. But Scruffy, Trader Pops, DJ Toasty, the one and only. Thank you guys. Have yourself a good one. Talk to you tomorrow. Peace.